welcome back to another video of Life of Cindy. I know it's been a while since I have been here. It's been a month and I am so bad at posting lately. I started working and I just then lost my mind. But before we go ahead and get started, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, turn on your post notifications so you get notified every time I post a new video. Whenever I post it, right? Y'all like, I'm about tired of dealing with you because you don't post. So I'm sorry. So today I just want to talk about, just a little chat, things that have been going on in the world. There's been a lot of things going on about mental health that I really want to address. A lot of celebrities are going through it. We have Tamar Braxton, who went through it, and good thing she's okay. Kanye West, who's going through it. And I kind of just want to dig into the effects that it may have on your family, the effects that it may have on you that you don't understand. And kind of share a little bit of my personal journey with mental illness. I'm not gonna say a whole lot, just because a lot of my stories are connected to people in my life that I love and respect and want to respect their perspective on things and their privacy. And I don't need nobody bashing anybody either, because they're still my family or people that I love and I know, and I will go hard for them before I let you go hard on them. Okay? So I'm gonna say as much as I possibly can, keep things vague on my end when it comes to my personal stuff, and then take it from there. So I deal with anorexia. Well, I dealt with, now I don't because I'm so damn fat, but I dealt with anorexia nervosa when I was younger, and I deal currently with depression, anxiety, and PTSD. So the PTSD part I'm not going to dig deeper into, because the effects of it have to do with things that have happened in my past, and we're not going to go there because, like I said, you come for them, I come for you, and we don't want to do that. Okay? So I deal with depression, and my depression comes in waves. My depression is more of a kind of like I wake up and my body I just don't feel okay. And that's not always easy because, you work, you live your life, you're doing things you want to do, and sometimes you just need to be up and ready to go. The things that trigger my depression, being in the house for too long, so this quarantine has not been good for me. Personal issues that happen in my life, triggers that have happened. I have a lot of triggers that I deal with. So that is kind of what triggers my depression. There's a lot of things that I've been through in my life that if something similar or close to appears, again in itself, or something happens, I fall right back into it. And it's hard. I have had mental breakdowns. I have been through the ringer and put a lot of my family through it as well. Luckily, I have an amazing fiance who helps me maneuver through it all, checks on me, understands. We're kind of better now at communicating on it, because in the beginning I was not. There would be days where I would just stay in bed all day when we first started dating, and he wouldn't understand. And I finally told him, look, this is what I deal with. These are the signs that I'm getting there or I'm there. And so now he doesn't take it, well, he didn't in the beginning, and he doesn't take it lightly. He understands that when I'm going through something or when I'm dealing with these things, what he needs to do. What he needs to do to help me get through it and to help me be a better me. So, I can't, if I'm having a day, we need to go out. We need to talk it out. I recently dealt with, kind of a mental break, and I had to like kind of just talk it out with him and deal with it and express to him what it was, or talk it out to identify it, because sometimes you really don't understand what you're going through or why you're feeling the way you feel until you talk it out with somebody to identify the core of the issue and why you're dealing with what you're dealing with, or why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Because you really don't, sometimes you just don't understand why you feel the way you do, because when you have a mental disorder, it's a chemical imbalance that you just don't know. Just one day you're just like, I don't feel good. So in dealing with that, it's always, I've never been able to talk it out with somebody. Now I have that, and sometimes you need that. That's why I will never not condone therapy. Therapy is a godsend. Like, you need to go to therapy if you're really going through some things, because I loved it. Currently don't do it now because of my medical insurance, so I have to, once I get that back rolling, I'll be right back in it, because I need to be able to be a good me, for my family, for my relationship, and I cannot do that if I don't take care of myself and go see somebody, because your family doesn't always want to be that person that you always lean on for these things, because they deal with their own things too, and I never want to be that person to just throw everything on you, even though they may not care. I don't want to be the one to do it. Like, I feel bad, feeling that I'm putting all this on them. So I, your therapist getting paid for something, okay? So I've been actually doing therapy since I was 5. That's why I love it, and it helped me through a lot of things that I've been through, and a lot of things that, it helped me cope better with things, and I will never say no to therapy. Like, it's my thing. It's my thing. So that's kind of how I deal with my depression. My anxiety is 10 times worse than my depression. I overthink things, which makes it worse for me. And I tend to let it overpower me sometimes too. So I particularly don't do well with it. And my doctors have always wanted to put me on medication for my anxiety, and I've always said no. I don't believe in medication for many of reasons. I like to feel like I defeated this disease on my own. I don't feel like I need it, because it's not to the point where I don't know how to control it or how to address it. I learned how to do that without medication, and I'm always scared of the side effects of medication on it. Like, when you want to get off of it, if you feel better, things like that. So I just shut it down. I'm like, nah, I'm good. So I don't do that. But my anxiety, I have a lot of social anxiety. I don't like going into stores by myself. I don't like to be in big crowds by myself. I hate Targets, Walmarts, malls, anything that can have a capacity of 50 people or more. I'm not messing with. I don't like walking anywhere by myself, because it just makes me feel weird and uncomfortable and anxious, and I don't like it. I always feel like I'm like being looked at or stared at. It just makes me I can't do it, and it's very, very hard for me. I hate parking lots. I anything that has to do with me in a big space, like, I can't. I don't like it. Like, being in a parking lot and trying to figure out how to cross the street properly makes me anxious. Like, it's that bad. So that is something that I, thank God I have someone in my life that understands that. And when I say I don't think I'm gonna be okay going in the store, even though he really doesn't want to go in, he still does it, because he understands that this is not something to play with, and it could put me in a funk just walking in the store by myself. So I don't really like doing that. because it makes me very anxious. And anxiety is real. Anxiety is real. It's stressful. It makes you feel like you're crazy sometimes, because you have all these pent up feelings just from being anxious that you don't know how to deal with, and it's scary. And luckily my depression is not as bad. Like, when I say as bad, it's like it doesn't come as like in bad, like in many waves as it used to. Like, it's not as consistent as my anxiety it's very consistent. Even like in work, like I triple, double, quadruple check my work just to make sure that it's right, because with my anxiety, it becomes a control issue. Everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be right. I like things done a certain way. It's like sometimes borderline OCD, because everything has to go the way that I have it planned. I'm a big planner because of my anxiety. Because everything just has to be like boom, boom. Like it just has to work on paper and in my mind. And so it makes it hard sometimes to deal with. But I deal with it. So there's that. And then I also battled with anorexia nervosa. I battled with it when I was younger. Give me a second. So I battled with it when I was younger. And when I battled with it, it was bad. Like, I was still wearing kids' clothes as a freshman in high school. Like, it was bad. Like, I think, my highest weight, I don't know, I'm 5'6", and have an athletic stature. And my highest weight for a very long time, I think until I was like in my early 20s, I was like 115. It's like the biggest I would ever get. And that just stemmed from a lot of things that I really don't want to get too much into. Growing up, like, my family genes are not the greatest. There's a lot of overweight people in my family. So sometimes that scares, my parents, because I do carry those genes. And so I grew up very conscious of my weight. And like, when I say very conscious, like very conscious, like I basically would either just not eat, and then if I did eat, it would be like this much of chicken or like this much of vegetables, and I always like wanted water-based foods so I could just pee it out. So that is what kind of progressed that disease. Thank God, I've been in recovery for a very long time, but there are a lot of times that I can see myself on my way to a relapse. And I am very openly communicative with my fiance about it, because I don't ever want to go back there. And maybe I'll insert a picture on how I looked back then, and then kind of like how I kind of look now. Maybe not how I look right now, because I didn't gain a little bit more weight. But like, basically it's gonna be, if I can insert it, I'll insert a picture of how I looked then to how I look now. And I'll do one for where like 3 years ago, so you can kind of see, like, I'll kind of do like a few, so you can see the progression that I had. So yeah, and like, even when like, I was in, recovery, I still was very cautious of everything I ate. I would still work out a lot. And it wasn't healthy. Like, I would work out and then eat like a salad, but like with no protein, no nothing. So I wasn't getting like the nutrients I needed to get, the proteins. Like, I was getting a lot of iron, but even at that, I was still anemic. So it's just a lot of different things that I dealt with. So I dealt with that as well. So I was dealing with that, depression, anxiety, PTSD, and I'm a control freak. So you can just imagine how many times I've had to get help and make myself be better. because it was a definite struggle. So when I look at, you know, Tamar Braxton and what she's going through and just really trying to understand, you know, why, you know, because I get it. And there are times where you just get so consumed in the things that you're doing in life and so consumed in the imperfections of your life that you feel like you have nothing left to live for. You could have everything in the world. You can have the best life you could possibly have, and then you still feel like it's not enough and that you're not good enough and there's just nothing more in life to live for. And it sucks. And it sucks when you also feel like the people that are there for you are not there for you. And it's not that they're not there for you. It's just you just put in your mind that they're not gonna understand what I'm going through, or they don't understand what I'm going through. And 9 times out of 10, they may not understand, but they try to understand and try to be the best support system they can for you. But when we get in those states, it's like no one gets me, no one understands me, and no one will. What am I doing here in this life? Why am I here in this life? I don't deserve to live. I gotta go. And I feel that's where she was. She's in the public eye. She's dealing with a lot, you know, and it's like when you continue to go in this hamster wheel, it's like, when is it gonna end? Where is my light in this tunnel? When is it gonna be better? And she was dealing with a lot. She expressed so many times that she wasn't mentally okay, and she was ignored. I can only imagine where I would be if I was ignored, because I dealt with and continue to deal with a lot. And if I didn't have people in my life and as my support system that didn't understand what I dealt with, and I was ignored, I don't know where I would be. I just thank God that her boyfriend was there to save her and, you know, get her the help that she needed at the time that he did, because if not, we would have lost her, which would have been horrific and sad. And it would have been devastating for a lot of people, especially her son, her family. You know, just because you bicker and you fight with your family, the love is still always going to be there. The last thing they want is to lose someone that they truly, truly love. And then even Kanye West, he battles with mental illness, and a lot of people are like, you know, are you doing this for publicity because of the new album, or are you really going through things? But it's still not something to play with. If, you know, he's really like, if he's really going through some things, then it needs to be dealt with privately. And I don't agree with the things that he may have said, but that is what mental illness will do to you, especially with the bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is so complex in so many ways. It's like you cannot sometimes control these bouts that happen. They just happen. And let's not forget, like, his mother's birthday just passed. That could put you in a very unsettling state, especially if you have a mental disability. So I just want everyone to have a little compassion, you know, for him and for what he's going through, and pray for his wife, because we don't know really where her stance is on a lot of things, or what she's doing, or what she's trying to do, or we don't know because we're not there dealing with it with them. So have a little compassion for her too, because she may just be doing the best that she knows how and the best that she can. But I do feel that it just needs to be just her hand in it. Like, keep everybody out the kitchen, because that may be also pushing him away to want to get help. And when you deal with mental illness, you can never force someone to get help. They have to want to get it. And luckily, you know, I love therapy, and I feel like it's like my safe space. But for some people, they have really bad experiences with it, and even grew up saying that that's not something that you do. You know, whatever happens at home stays at home, or whatever, you know, especially in a lot of these minority communities where, like, you know, my Hispanic community or African American community, it's kind of frowned upon us telling somebody else our business, even if they're a professional and there's a confidentiality order in place. Like, it still don't matter. You still telling somebody your business. But I don't see it as that. I see it as you need to let whatever you had going on in your life, in your past, in your day-to-day, out to somebody, because you keep harboring it all in, it's not gonna help you. So just, you know, I just say, instead of criticizing and putting your 2 cents in, just to pray for them if you pray, or just well wishes, positive vibes, whatever you need to do, because at the end of the day, that is what, you know, could keep them going. Because don't forget, they have kids and stuff, and you just want to be sensitive. Yes, I know they chose this life and they chose to put themselves in the public eye, but that doesn't mean that every once in a while they don't want, you know, that they don't want their own privacy, because I bet you 10 times out of 10 they do. So I really just hope that this video helps anybody and you know, whoever watches it, because it is something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and that, you know, I am happy that I get to be able to talk to you about it, and just happy that I have this platform to express it, because this is a real thing. And, you know, just if you are dealing with anything, please, you know, get the help that you need, you know, or however you cope with it. You meditate, do yoga, do whatever. Mental illness is not, you know, it's not something to play with. And do whatever you need to do to be better you, and to fight it, you know. And there's so many ways to do it, to control it, and it's just, you know, figuring out what works for you. So I'm so happy that I got to share a little more of my life with you and the things that I deal with, and I can't wait to give you another video. Hopefully it won't be a month from now. You know, I gotta get better at this YouTube thing. I'm trying to be, you know, the next Ace Family, and I can't even get close because your girl don't know how to just do a video. Even if it's videos like these, like it's still like pulling teeth me trying to do them. So anyway, I am so happy that I got to share this moment with you guys. And please make sure to always like, comment, and subscribe to this video and to my channel. Give it a big thumbs up, turn on your post notifications so you get notified every time your girl posts a new video. Peace.